Hello, lovers.
Roses are red, violets are blue. We really want to share our conversation hearts with you.
Welcome to Likewise's Week of Love with a new guest every day. I'm Issa.
And I'm Sam, and we're so excited for you to join us and our author, Galentines, while we share our love for romance books.
What can I say? We love love.
We are so excited to be back, and it's day 3 of Week of Love. We hope you've enjoyed the first 2 days so far. And today we're super, super excited because one, we get to talk with the lovely Sydney Applegate. And today, the day you're listening, is actually the release date of her book. So it's like making this extra, extra exciting. And so we're super excited to get to talk about it and get to know her more. And so, yeah, I'll let her introduce herself however she wants.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So, hi, I'm Sydney Applegate. I am a romance and fantasy author. I am a reader, a Swiftie, and just genuinely honored to be here on the pod. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Oh my gosh, we are so excited. We've been looking forward to this for so long. And oh my gosh, I literally, stars in my eyes, cannot believe we're doing this. So, before we get into too much fun stuff, we're going to start this episode as we always do with our roses and thorns. So, Sam, what are your roses and thorns?
Okay, so if you've seen on our threads, we've been talking this year a lot about how we want to get desktops. My thorn is that today, literally this morning, I was just trying to finish an Instagram post for Likewise, and my trackpad on my laptop just stopped working. Like it's fully disabled. I can't turn it back on. And it's like it happened right after it's been doing this glitch thing where like when I'm trying to just like slide on it to move my cursor, it starts clicking on everything and then my computer glitches. So it was doing that and then it fully went out. So it's just gone. I don't think she's coming back. So I may or may not be fully ordering my desktop today. Which is exciting, kind of a rose, but also a thorn because it's expensive. Um and okay, my rose. So I went to the movies last night. I've been going to the movies a lot. It's a new thing this year. But I went and I saw Argyle, and it was fun, and it was really chaotic. Plot twist after plot twist. Some of them it was kind of just like, why are we doing this? And some it was like, this is actually just so funny. And I was laughing so much in the theater. So I had a good time, but I know a lot of people hated it and were like leaving the theater. Yeah, wild. I would never. I think I'd sit through a whole movie even if I'm not like loving it. Um, okay, in the movie they used the song Now and Then, which if you know is like the last Beatles song ever. And like Apple was like part of like the like regeneration and AI of like putting the song together. Um, and it was in the movie a bunch. It was like a significant part actually. And the first use of it, I was like, oh cool, like this feels like one of those moments where like after a movie's already made, like they have all these scenes that are already filmed and then a song comes out and then they insert it. And then as it kept getting used in the movie, I'm like, oh no, this was like very intentional. And it made me sad because like as a Beatles girly, it was just heartbreaking, but then I was also happy because it just like fit so good in the movie. So yeah, I love that song. And now I'm thinking about it. But yeah, those are my roses and thorns. Sydney, what are yours?
Okay, first of all, I've been dying to see Argyle. Also, I would sit through a 4-hour movie just for Dua Lipa. So
Right.
I'm gonna have to go see it soon. I'm gonna be crying as a fellow Beatles girly. That's gonna be rough. Thank you for mentally preparing me for that because that
Yes.
would have blindsided me. Um, okay, my rose. I actually just got back from a Disney World vacation and it was so nice. I didn't go to work for a whole week. It was beautiful. Um, we charted all of like our miles that we walked. I can't even tell you how many steps we walked, but I think we walked like 72 miles in a week and my feet are still sore, but the I don't want to say the best part of the vacation because this would totally do a disservice to Disney World, but like on top of that awesome vacation and that mental reprieve from my daily life, when we were flying home from Orlando, we had an evening flight. And so there was no line for security, no line to check our bags. And then once we got through, there was like no one in the airport. So there was no line to get food and snacks. And as a joke, I was like, oh, maybe the Hudson News store has House of Flame and Shadow out. Who knows? It's only the most popular fiction book in the world right now, but maybe they have it. I walk up to the bookshelf, I make a beeline, and there is one copy left. Hardback, beautiful, just gold foil. It was such an aha moment. And I literally started doing like, happy little like tippy taps. I don't know if that's like a very niche reference, but I was doing a little dance in the checkout line, buying House of Flame and Shadow, getting my Starbucks croissant, and just sitting, waiting to get on the flight. And then they told us that there were only 25 people on our flight. So we got a whole row to ourselves. And so I got to sprawl out, turn on the audiobook, and read House of Flame and Shadow on my way home from vacation. And it was beautiful. It was such a cool experience. I'm forever going to get to tell people that, like, oh, like this reading experience, I found the book coming home from vacation and I just got to like binge read it on the plane. So that was my rose. My thorn, there was one night on vacation, just one night. I got so sick from eating a chicken Caesar salad. And I love chicken Caesar salads. Chicken Caesar salad and like a side of fries is such a girl dinner for me that when it happened, I have an irrational fear of Caesar salads now because I was venting about it to one of my friends and she was like, "Oh, it's probably because the dressing has anchovies." And I was like, "It has what?" Me and anchovies do not jive. And so this was the first that I was hearing about it. And so like, not cool. I don't know when I'm going to be able to like brave having a Caesar salad again, but that was my low. And you know what? If that is my only thorn for the last like month, I am happy. You know what? First world problems, but that was my only thorn.
Oh my word. First of all, Caesar dressing has anchovies in it.
Yeah.
Some of it does. I don't know if it's like all Caesar salads, but man, I got halfway through the salad and I was like, I don't feel good. Like it's one of those instincts like, oh, your tummy hurts. Do not eat another bite. And I did because I was at a restaurant that was like 50s themed. And so it was like our waiter was like in character and she was like, come on, like mama worked hard on that meal. You're gonna be in the clean plate club. You won't get to go anywhere until you finish your plate. And so I kept eating. And it didn't end well. So no Caesar salads for me. Also probably if I ever order one again, I'm gonna be like, are there anchovies in your dressing? Because otherwise I'll get something else.
Oh my word. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh. Okay, my thorn is that I am so cold, like just all of the time. Literally all of these Week of Love recordings, I'm wearing like my sweatshirt and then a giant jacket over it because I'm freezing in my bedroom. Uh, and then like at night too, freezing. But then I'll have like all my blankets on, or like just during the day I have like my jackets on, and then I'll start sweating. I'm like, oh, and so I'll have to delayer, but then I get freezing again. And I'm too young for menopause. Um, my rose is that this morning I went to business Costco with my mom and got lots of yummy treats. I like my chocolate milk that I'm drinking right now. I love it. And then also last night did book club with some friends. Uh, we did not in fact read at all, but we did watch videos from childhood music classes. So still a fun night.
That's so real though. Like meeting up with friends to read and then you just don't read at all. I am so excited to talk more about all things release day today, everything about the Fall of Jericho. So, Sydney, I'll have you share whatever you want about like the promo for the book. If you wanted to give a little synopsis, maybe something mysterious for our listeners to want to like run to order it and where they can find it today.
Oh my gosh. So first of all, it's a fever dream that it's like out in the world. I remember writing the first chapter just for funsies, and showing it to my friend, and she was like, keep going. And I was like, really? And here we are. So that's crazy. Okay, so if you don't know, The Fall of Jericho is a loose retelling and a dark twist on the classic tale of Sleeping Beauty. It's about a ruthless young king who dreams of a girl he doesn't realize is plotting to kill him, and how right as she's beginning to inherit those ominous dreams of his, he starts to wonder if she may be his dream come true. But yeah, it comes out today. You can read it and purchase it through Amazon. It is on Kindle Unlimited, so my KU girlies represent, and on Barnes& Noble. I don't know if it's up in hardback yet, but a hardback copy is in the works. But right now, I think it is just paperback and ebook. I am going to try and keep that as brief as possible because otherwise I might word vomit about the book, but it is literally my child. I absolutely love this book to death, and I love my two leads. I love all the characters in it in their own ways, but I've never been more in love with two leads that I've created than Venus and Jericho. So I cannot wait for you to meet them and read about them. And yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. Okay, spoiler, peek behind the curtain a little bit. We don't record the day that we release, usually. Occasionally, but not today. And so technically when we're recording, like it's not out. So Sydney, like, how does that feel to say like it's out? Like kind
Oh
of for the
my
first
God.
time.
It's so weird in a good way. Like my heart is doing somersaults in my chest in like the best way ever. I think because when you've been writing it for so long alone and now you get to announce that it's in everyone's hands. I know that can be a scary thing, but I always love sharing what I've written with other people. So it's just such a privilege, and it's also like a thank God moment. Like thank goodness it is out there. I'm tired of people or me not being able to tell people the references or communicate with them or send like the Grinch smile gif, however you say it, to people when they're like, Sydney, oh my gosh, I just read chapter blah blah blah. And I'm just like, yeah, you did. How you feeling? So it's super exciting, and I'm very, very glad that it is out in the public domain in the future, but also right now.
Yes. Oh my gosh. That's so fun. We are so excited. And you already know that it's on my Kindle. Like it will be there. Um, so yeah, we'll just get right into more questions about it and about you and all that good stuff. So to start it off, one of the things we know about the Fall of Jericho is that it has a villain narrator. So thinking about that, just like what in general inspired you to do that and also inspired you to make it a retelling of Sleeping Beauty.
Okay. I'm literally gonna quote that meme where it's like, oh my gosh, I love this question. I think I love when people ask about the villain narrator because it's a concept I had never heard of. I've never seen or read a book where the villain, and not just like morally gray, I'm talking morally black. Um, I've never seen that done in a book ever. And I've always wanted some piece of media to be like that, whether a movie or a book or something else, who knows. But it came about. I had actually read a book by an author that I used to love. Not that I don't like them anymore, but I definitely read them more in like my early teenage years and my young adult years. Um, but I had read a book that they wrote, and I was so livid at the way that they handled the villain of the story. The good guys won for the sake of coming out on top, not because they actually outsmarted the villain. And I've always loved tinkering with the mindset of flawed, morally questionable characters. I don't think that there's a person who is all bad or all good. And I really wanted to write a story where that kind of person was the focal point of the story. And I thought, like, okay, so if we're going to dive more into like a villain, like, why not make the villain the narrator? Can I write something where the reader knows that this person is aware of how horrible their behavior is and still sway them to their support and their affection? So that was really fun to play with. Also, I just feel like, and absolutely no shade at all, but with book talk, there's been so much like, oh, I love a morally gray man. If he's not morally gray, like, I don't know if I'm going to read the book. And like, that's fair if that's your taste. But I think I have a different version of what morally gray looks like, because lately we've been getting a lot of, oh, he seems morally gray, but it's just his tragic backstory. I want to know that this guy, like, his morals are not it, but you still like them somehow. And I wanted to really work out a dynamic and see how that played out. Sleeping Beauty wise, I know y'all can't see it, but like, I have a little like Aurora's crown necklace. Sleeping Beauty is my favorite fairy tale and Disney princess movie literally ever. And I know that Aurora goes down in history like not having done much per se, but I love how the whole premise of Sleeping Beauty focuses on how so many people love Aurora. Like the fairies, the king and queen, the prince, the whole kingdom, they love Aurora. Like, they will do anything for them. But for my take on the story, I toyed with the idea of a kingdom that burned with loathing, in the way that they ought to revere their ruler, and how that affects the characters at play. And if you know the story, you'll definitely see nods to the original poke through in the book. But the original premise, well, not the original, but I had written, I think, 5 chapters of the book. And then I was like, okay, this is becoming a Sleeping Beauty retelling, but what's the retelling aspect? What's the twist? And that's when I had come up with the idea of, what if meeting someone once upon a dream wasn't happily ever after? What if it was a death sentence? And it just kind of unfolded from there.
I love like seeing all of your posts and teasers. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's just getting me so much more excited for it every single time. Like, literally, like, Sam can tell you how obsessed I've been with this since first found you some way, somehow. Thank God.
Thank you, algorithm.
Yeah, no. So like, kind of going along with that, like, I love that you mentioned that, like, haven't really seen like an actual, real life villain. Like, there's just not a villain that, however you said it, it was good. I can't say it again. But like, yeah, like a morally black character, like, I haven't seen that either. And so I don't know, I feel like this question might be redundant, but like, it's very much, it seems like Jericho's story versus Venus's. And I feel like so often, not I feel like so often, most of the time we see it, like, story is the girl's perspective instead of the guy's. So is it just because, did you write it this way just because you wanted to have it like the villain narrator and the villain just happened to be Jericho, the man? Or was it like, was there another purpose behind it?
That is a really good question. So I think it was definitely Jericho's story at the beginning. However, after the edits I went through, I think that they've actually started to come out pretty equal in POV sharing. However, without spoiling too much, I truly believe that the dominant POV actually switches halfway through the book. So, sure, you get to see both sides, but in the beginning, you're really trying to understand Jericho. You're trying to feel him out, because obviously, like, he's the villain. You have to try and garner some support from him in the beginning, or you're going to hate him all the way through. He is a villain through and through, don't get me wrong, but we're supposed to go on this journey towards liking him in the end. Venus's motivations are well known just from like the blurb on the back of the book. She wants revenge, but like, what does Jericho want? What fuels his violent behavior and his visions, and how does that play into the world as a whole? Even in the beginning, why is he keeping Venus around if he has this whole track history of not keeping them around? Venus's point of view is shown too, but I definitely think that at the start, it's definitely focused on Jericho. But about halfway through, the scale really starts to tip towards Venus. I've read so many stories where the male point of view is there to almost accentuate the female lead storyline, but the truth is this book would be absolutely nothing without Jericho. It wouldn't be much without Venus, but truly, like, if Jericho's not there, the book is not what it is. He isn't just like a romantic interest or an oppositional force. He is a lead in his own right, just as Venus might be a villain in her own right. Their stories kind of work in tandem.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I got goosebumps. I was like, oh my gosh.
No, same. I'm like, okay, wow. I'm like, wait, sitting here thinking I knew everything, or like, yeah, I know exactly what this book is about. And then now I'm like, okay,
I know
wait, never
nothing.
mind. Like now it's like it's extra exciting because like I don't know, I'm someone who I really gravitate towards like wanting to read a book that just like is so intriguing and it's like it's pulling you to want to read it without knowing exactly what it's about. It's like, wow, this just sounds so cool. I feel like that's what I love about a lot of fantasy is like I have no clue. I have
Yeah.
no idea what it's going to be. So, I'm so excited. Okay, that being said, do you have a favorite line or moment that you've written and why?
Oh, that is a fabulous question. Okay, there's definitely a few. Let's see. There's one chapter in particular that really pushed the envelope for me. It is a bit steamy, but the twist towards the end of that chapter, absolutely electric. I definitely let out like a maniacal laugh in my office when I wrote it. Um, and I just remember like fuming with satisfaction when my editor DM'd me and was like, babe, WTF? What did I just read? And I was like, you're welcome. It was awesome. That's definitely one of my favorite parts because I mean it is just unhinged. I have had at least 60% of my ARC readers message me about that scene. Not in like a bad way at all. They're just like, whoa, what is this? But I will say, and I will spoil not like context, but I will say a direct quote. I think my favorite line that I wrote was Jericho. He said, if you threaten Venus, you threaten me. And if you threaten me, may your useless gods spare you from the hell I will rain down on your territory. There is so much context in the back that when you read it, it will like pack a punch. But I loved, loved writing that one. It's just so good. It was awesome.
Oh my gosh. Ah, you know when you get like tears in your eyes, not because like you want to cry, but because something's so good. That's what that was.
Oh my gosh. I don't know the context of it. There's like that line in particular, especially like useless gods, when you learn more about like the world building and like the political rivalry, you will understand just how much of like a clapback that actually is. But yeah, I would get that stitched in needlepoint and framed on my wall if I could. So
I am like, I'm getting more butterflies in my stomach the longer we talk, which is so funny because usually it's the opposite where it's like, oh, I get the butterflies a little bit before we record and then they like, start going away throughout because I get more like into the conversation. But now I'm like, I'm just getting so excited. Um, and I totally forgot to say at the beginning too that I'm just so excited because my favorite elements of like fantasy are in this 100%. Like just I love betrayal. I love political intrigue. I love just like drama. Like it needs to be so dramatic and intense. So I'm very excited for all the twists and turns and the world building to come with that. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, there's definitely I just did a post on my Instagram. I'm gonna actually pull it up so I can like refer to it. But I just did a post with like all of the I guess tropes or like plot lines in it. And it's like the picture of Taylor Swift kissing Travis Kelce because it's like I love those tropes so much. I'm such a micro trope girly as of late, but like, yeah, betrayal plot lines are huge for me. I
Yeah.
love betrayal plot lines. But all of the twisty parts, I don't want to compare myself to like the insane last 100 pages of like every Sarah J. Maas book. I will say the last 75 or 50, Godspeed, sister. I'm so sorry. It's crazy. My editor and I were like badgering each other back and forth, like, oh my gosh. Like, she's like, I've read this 3 times and I'm still scared.
Believe me.
Shout out to Caitlin. We love her.
Oh my gosh. No, the only fantasy I've read is like ACOTAR and like started Throne of Glass, but then so many other books got in my way. So I'm still reading Assassin's Blade right now. And then also like Fourth Wing Iron Flame. So I'm like still new to fantasy, but I'm so excited. Like literally the political scheming, political intrigue, the political stuff. I love that. Love me some political fantasy stuff, tropes, whatever it is.
Mhm.
So I guess kind of similar, not like similar, but like piggybacking a little bit off the last question, like in your writing process, we know you make a playlist. Do you associate certain songs to certain scenes of, or the book as a whole, or like what songs best represent this book in your mind?
Oh, yes. Music definitely shapes the way that I write scenes or just how like I write in general. Music fully helps me immerse into the setting and the emotion of the characters, and it's such a strange and like wonderful feeling. It feels like dawning another person's like very existence. Like, do y'all remember like I don't know if you were on this side of TikTok or on TikTok at the time, but back in like 2020 when Draco Talk was taking over the entire internet and everyone was talking about like shifting to Hogwarts. It's like that when I write with music in a book. Um, it's so cool. I also, fun fact, I have synesthesia. Um, do y'all know what that is?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
just in case any of our listeners don't know
So
what that is,
cool.
but like it's I don't want to say a mental illness, but it's a actual like mental process that some people have in their brains where they associate different words with sounds or color, or it's a weird inner working of the brain. I don't know how to describe it other than that. So like for instance, the main thing is like Thursday, orange, and November are the same thing in my brain. Don't ask me why. It's just how it appears. And it is very like instinctual. So like if somebody tells me their name, like I could instantly envision like a color or a pattern or like a song or a type of, musical genre. It's really cool. But that also kind of plays into like how I name my characters, how I write scenes, how I describe settings. But I think with this book, um, I actually filled in the final gaps of my very first draft of this book back in July, which was conveniently when Speak Now Taylor's version came out. And let me tell you, those vault tracks definitely have the undertones in a few of the scenes. Specifically, I will say there is one scene, I won't tell you where, but I wrote it to Castles Crumbling on loop for probably like 2 or 3 hours. Um, so Speak Now Taylor's version, I am a Speak Now girly. I'm shocked I'm not wearing my cardigan right now because I practically live and rot in it. But that definitely played a big part. Also, music genuinely cures like my writer's block. So once I find the right vibe or the right lyrics, the rest pretty much comes naturally, which thank God, because writer's block is awful. So I guess some of the songs that like capture the essence of the book, Venus Flytrap by Marina, who was like originally Marina and the Diamonds. Um, that directly correlates to a line of dialogue where Venus introduces herself. But also I just the kind of eerie, slightly sassy vibe definitely is Venus through and through. Um, Killer Shangri-La, I can't say that word. Killer Shangri-La, which is like the theme song from Killing Eve. I listened to that so much. Mastermind by Taylor Swift. There are so many Easter eggs throughout this book, so be on the lookout. And then, of course, Once Upon a Dream. So, like Lana's version when it was like a darker vibe. I do listen to the Sleeping Beauty waltz that like is originally by Tchaikovsky, which has like the Once Upon a Dream chorus, and the Disney version because of course, duh. I love Disney, like old Disney music. Oh, I just love it. So those are some of like the main songs that play, but also Speak Now Taylor's version. However, I do have the entire writing playlist on Spotify. So you can go listen to it there just under Sydney Applegate, and it's called Venus and Jericho because it's just them. It's them and vibes, and you'll start to see where in the playlist I was gathering all of like my really heartbreaking songs and then like my I'm going on the prowl songs. So yeah.
Oh my gosh, love that. Here at Likewise, we love us a good playlist.
True. We are playlist girls. Also, total Speak Now girly as well.
Mhm.
Like you can imagine me being so excited that my Eras Tour date was like right when Speak Now Taylor's version was coming out because I went to the Kansas City show. So it was the like weekend that I went to the one. I did not go to both. I would have loved to be there. Not me being there for Travis Kelce. No. I think he was
Oh,
there
you
the
were at
night
night
before me.
two? Yo,
What?
that's
Oh wait, yeah, I
sick.
was night two. Yeah. No way. Okay. Um, but yeah, that was amazing. And I I don't know. That just I feel that. Castle's Crumbling, also hardcore Paramore, Hayley Williams, obsessed. So that was my favorite ball track. So I'm so excited for that. Like I feel like I'll know. I'll know when I'm reading. I'll just be thinking of it.
Yep.
Um, but I know we've kind of talked a little bit about some of our favorite things from fantasy books, like how we all love political intrigue, we all love betrayal, all those things. But we do know we have a lot of friends and other besties and listeners of our podcast who are strictly romance readers. And we know that they like want to get into reading fantasy and romantasy a little bit. So, as a reader, and also author. Um, do you have any advice of like where to start, how they can get comfy with world building, and all of that?
Okay, yeah, for sure. First of all, romance girlies, thank you for inviting me in and being so nice. I know that you're probably like, Romantasy, who is she? But thanks for being so welcoming. Um, in a reader sense, audiobooks have genuinely been my saving grace. So like I said, Crescent City, I love fantasy. That is a higher fantasy, I will say, but um audiobooks, if you're really stuck on world building and like me have kind of a lower comprehension but a faster reading speed, audiobooks truly help me retain more loaded information. Romance still has like really great depth and substance, but there you don't have to establish an entirely new governmental system, everyday operation, made up names, all of that good stuff. So I really think that audiobooks have been my saving grace and they could be your saving grace. However, with like low fantasy, then branch out more into higher fantasy as you get more comfortable. So like starting with a lower fantasy helps. So like I think what would we say Fourth Wing was? Fourth Wing is like medium fantasy, I feel like. So you can go lower if you need to, but Fourth Wing was a decent starting place, I feel like. Um, Although there's a book that's becoming really popular right now, I don't recommend starting there. Definitely get there because I've heard great things about it, but like I've heard there's like a borderline 30-page glossary sweet baby girl, that might not be for you just yet, but that's okay. You can probably come back around to it. It's not for me right now either because I have a little pea brain and need time to like work my way up to that. Shameless plug, The Fall of Jericho is a low fantasy. So there's more political world building than magic systems per se, and romance based rather than actual fantasy dynamics. There's definitely still action for sure, but it's more rooted in like plotting and scheming and mental games for the sake of furthering a romantic plot line in a sense. So I hope that can give you a little bit of reassurance. But yes, audiobooks and just starting low fantasy and gradually going up because you don't want to jump scare yourself with something like really intense.
No, that's such a
Yeah.
good point. I know me personally, like I started like when I wanted to read fantasy because like it's all my dad reads and my sister reads a lot of fantasy and I was like I want to get into this but like that looks scary. So I just like I started with YA. Like that's like that was my journey. I was like I'll read some YA fantasy and then see how I feel. And I feel like that was helpful. But yeah, definitely like the lower. I don't even know if I've read anything necessarily like super high, but maybe one day. Maybe one day I can read the 30-page glossary. That's so funny.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I don't know that even one day I could read that 30-page glossary, high fantasy, because similar to Sydney, I have a small brain, and small brain can only do so much. Uh, oh man. But I guess kind of on this topic of like books and good ones to read, what is a book or books that you recommend to absolutely everyone?
Ooh, okay. Everyone else will recommend Sarah J. Maas books, so I'll spare you that because, even though I definitely would recommend them to you, they're popular for a reason. I love the Arc of a Scythe trilogy by Neil Shusterman. Oh my gosh. I would give my right leg to read Thunderhead for the first time again. It was so good. I need to reread it. It's one of those books that, yes, it's YA, but oh my gosh, I want to read it as a grown adult and just relive it. It's so fascinating. It is lower fantasy, but it's also very techy in a way because it's about like technological progress and innovation, but the world is pretty much otherwise what we live in now, more natural. So that's really good. Um, and then I love Daisy Jones and the Six. If you're a girly like me that really needs something to get out of a slump, a standalone with an adaptation that, first of all, they got robbed so hard. They should have won a Golden Globe for something. Daisy Jones, I've never read a book like it written in interview style. It is so awesome. I will literally bleed for Fleetwood Mac. And so the fact that it's loosely based off of them, oh my stars. I love Daisy Jones and the Six. And Taylor Jenkins Reid is awesome. So if you just need an intro to her, Daisy Jones and the Six is a great start. Those are definitely like my highest recommendations.
Oh my gosh, Daisy Jones. One of my top reads. I love so much.
It's so good. People
It's
sleep on
so
it.
good.
And I literally, Daisy Jones and the Six, the album was like number 2 or 3 in my Spotify Wrapped this year. And it's still going to be high up there. I
So
listen to it
good.
on Spotify, Apple Music. I'm probably going to rewatch the miniseries again because it came out last year in March. So I'm going to watch it this year in March. It's so good. The casting was superb. Just the music is super eclectic and it's just awesome. I love it.
Yes. Oh my gosh. It was like my last read of last year. And I remember like right when I finished it, I texted Issa and I was just like, yeah, like one of the best books I read this year. I listened to the audiobook for like maybe the first 20 minutes just to like get me into it at first. And it was cool because it's actually like a full cast audiobook. So like every character has, a person. So it's so fun. But yes, we fully agree with both of this. I have not um finished. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I've not finished the Arc of a Scythe series, but I have read the first two and they're so good. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. This is our other favorite question to ask guests, actually. Um, but it can kind of be a hot topic. So, are there any tropes that you feel super strongly about, whether that's good or bad?
Ooh, okay. My number one offender, like despise, bane of my existence, an amnesia trope. I do not like amnesia tropes. I feel like it's just like a really cheap way to extend to another book, and it erases all of the positive progress that the previous book or books made, and it drives me absolutely insane. So, like, for instance, not spoiling what book it is, but there is a YA type romance book with the third book that came out in the past year. And the ending of book 2 involved an amnesia trope. And it picked up on it in book 3, and it felt like a waste of time. It is what it is. I was very disappointed. I don't bond with amnesia tropes at all. Love tropes, however, tropes I really enjoy, mutual pining in any genre, smash. I love mutual pining. I love a slow burn, but when it does finally burn, it needs to be like a 4th of July fireworks show. If it is anything less, it is not a good payoff. It's not. Like, I need an explosive slow burn. Obviously, enemies to lovers. Are we shocked? No. But lately, I've been in such like a microtrope era because it's like, oh, no microtrope can affect me that much, and it's just me on the floor thinking about like certain smaller things. So like I do like Who Did This to You, but I like a twist on Who Did This to You. So like if someone's like, give me names, I'm like, oh, or like, I'll kill them. Like, please do so. There's actually one, like, there's a twist on Who Did This to You that I'm writing in Project Indigo, which I know we'll get into in a little bit. Um, that I'm like squealing over, and I'm trying to decide if I should say what it is, but for right now I'll keep it calm. But like every time I read the line, like my blood heats. I love a twist on Who Did This to You. Um, when the villain is shocked by the heroine's like sudden rage and violence, that's hot. Like, especially if the villain in question is crazy, irrationally violent. So like the Fall of Jericho, that trope I definitely inserted into there. I get like when the breath is stolen from the villain when the girl reacts. Oh my gosh. Those are some of the tropes and micro tropes that I love or love to hate, for sure.
Yes, Sam and I both big enemies to lovers fans. And you know what? I feel like as fans of Sarah J. Maas, kind of have to love enemies to lovers. Okay, wait, yeah. Like you just mentioned, Project Indigo, and we love spoilers. But for those who may not know, what's next after Fall of Jericho?
Okay, so The Fall of Jericho was originally going to be a standalone. But my editor read the ending and was basically like, girl, I'm going to give you 1 week, and you either need to rewrite that ending or you need to draft an outline of what a sequel would look like. And I knew pretty much instantly I was not going to change that ending. I wrote it and I was like, yes, perfect. And she was like, you cannot leave them like this. And I was like, why not? But I, so I spent a week thinking of like 8 different sequel ideas. I was like, I don't know which one. And there was one that I was like, I think this is the best fit. I don't know if this is the direction that readers would want. And so I pitched it to my editor, and she was like, I need this book like I need water. And I was like, oh, that's not the reaction I was expecting, but okay. And I think right now we're like 70,000 words in. Yeah, it's been coming together quite fast. I think I've been writing it for 3 months, something like that. I couldn't participate in NaNoWriMo this past year, so sad. But Project Indigo does have a title, but everything about the blurb of it and maybe even the title is a spoiler. So I can't share much because I don't want to spoil readers. Obviously, it is potentially release day when you're listening to this, so I want to give more people a chance to read it before I go into detail about it. But I definitely will talk more about it once, a decent readership has gotten to it. But what I will say is that it is a Phantom of the Opera retelling. And just when you thought the first book was secretive and calculating, just wait. Just wait. It's 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 definitely not on the same level of like bloodlust as the first book. It's more sophisticated and like fine arts focused, but it's still very mischievous and like it's a Ravenclaw book. The Fall of Jericho is a Slytherin book through and through. Project Indigo is definitely a Ravenclaw book, but with like, some sinister twists. I'm very, very, very excited for that too. It's really, really fun. The Phantom of the Opera and Sleeping Beauty are like two of my favorite stories ever, very musically rooted. So I'm very excited to see what happens with Project Indigo. I don't have a release date for it. I have one that I think would be really cool, but I don't know if I'm going to be done in time. So who knows? Maybe we'll have 2 books in a year. Maybe we'll have 1 book in a year. Who knows?
I
Fair.
love that. Oh my goodness. My sister and I are like huge Phantom of the Opera fans. Like growing up, we were so obsessed with it, and she plays like the soundtrack all the time.
Oh yeah,
Um, and I'm a Ravenclaw, so
good
now
for
I'm
you.
extra excited.
Oh my gosh, wait, Sam, I did not know that about you.
Wait,
Interesting.
okay. Fun fact, actually, we for for like work week for recruitment, our sophomore year of college, our chapter like during work week did a Harry Potter like themed thing. And so before like we got back, like in the middle of summer, we all had to like take the quiz to find out our house. And then we like literally ordered t-shirts that were like the colors with like our letters on them. Um, and so yeah, I'm a Ravenclaw. I learned that from sorority recruitment.
I'm so jealous. I would have killed for a work week day like that. Wait, can I ask what sorority you were?
Yes. So
Yeah,
I
you
love
can
how my
ask.
is like so nervous. Yes, no, very public. We Issa and I both. That's how we met because we were in the same sorority in college. We were tryouts, and um we like didn't even like really meet each other or know each other until like our sophomore year, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
Like we like knew of each other, but then we didn't really talk
Yeah.
until that second
Yeah.
year, and then everything spiraled. But yes, love Tridalta. Oh, okay. Whoa, did not realize we were like all the way at the last question. That's so wild.
Wait,
So,
wait, Sam, do you want to ask the rogue question?
oh,
Ooh, a rogue question.
oh yeah, let's go rogue. Honestly, it fits. Let's keep chatting then. So we, we're we happen to, do some light stalking sometimes. So,
Oh,
relating to our previous conversation, we were like, wait, this could actually be kind of fun to ask about this. So, um, we just, we're wondering if there's anything you wanted to share or just like relate to with your experience being in a sorority. Because we saw you were wearing your DG shirt in Disney, and we were like, okay, cute. We just love being to like, I don't know, getting to relate to
yeah.
with that.
I loved being in a sorority. I genuinely think when I was in high school, I was just, I don't even know how to describe it. Not antisocial, but I went to the same school for 15 years. So I was getting really stale and really reclusive, I guess, and irritable. And so I went to a college where nobody else in my graduating class went with me except my roommate, and completely started afresh. And I absolutely fell in love with my sorority. Um, it was such a diverse group of personalities. Like there wasn't anybody like each other in the chapter. It was a smaller chapter, I will say, but like it was exactly what I needed. I loved living in the house. 4 out of 8 of my bridesmaids in my wedding were sorority sisters. Like I am beyond thankful for the friendships that Delta Gamma gave me. I will cherish them forever. Um, the sorority sister I was living with, and she's like one of my best friends ever, 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 my little. Her name's Corinne. Shout out Corinne. She was the one that actually told me to start writing this book. After I ranted about the book that did the villain dirty, and I was like, I hate it. Like, I wish a book did this. And she was like, you should write it. So, like, the book, spoiler alert, Corinne, the book is dedicated to her. And I would not have that without my sorority. Also, I would not have my day job without my sorority because I served in so many positions, and did way too much. In sorority, not to brag, just I'm a little workaholic. But genuinely, like my sorority and all the stuff that I did in those like 3.5 years, like they got me the job that I have now. They brought me the friends that I have. I highly recommend going Greek if it's possible for you listeners, if it's not too expensive, because it was a smaller chapter. My dues were not as high and it was manageable, but it was awesome. I will positively share about going Greek until like I run out of breath. Drama aside, obviously there's going to be drama.
Right.
It's a bunch of girls, but still, it was awesome. Those were definitely my glory days.
Retweet. Oh my goodness. Yeah, actually, all of that times 100.
Yeah, no, I know. We talk about our sorority experience all the time, whether it's on the pod or just with each other. Like, um, a million percent. Like, just want to reiterate that. Like, I'll like always tell people to go Greek. Okay, so now that we've gone rogue, we're not going to go rogue again. Maybe, I
We'll
don't
reel it
know.
back in.
So like our final question, just like if you do you have any advice for other indies, like lessons learned from writing and publishing your debut, marketing your book, um, anything?
Oh yeah. Okay, so in the business side of it, start marketing earlier than you think. I've been marketing for the Fall of Jericho for over a year. Before I even finished the first draft, I was marketing, and it still feels like I haven't done enough. So just post the video. What's the worst that can happen, honestly? Um, but also find that perfect middle between promotion and being personable. Um, it's so important that as much as you promote yourself, you promote other people, not just for the sake of trying to make friends, but just to like build a secure community of people that like are genuinely interested in you and your work and vice versa. That's so important on social media. And lessons I've learned as an author, belief in yourself is truly everything. Art is subjective. It's okay that people might not love what you create. That gets authors into so much trouble when they read their reviews. Personally, I don't recommend reading your reviews past release date. That's only going to do you mental and emotional harm if you pick the bad ones, which we like as humans to focus on the bad. Um, but just know that sometimes I think that self-doubt will always prevent you from doing more work than writer's block ever will. So create a positive like mental space for you when you create, but also when you're like editing and sharing it with the public domain or editors or whatever. Just belief in yourself is everything. So make sure that you're in a positive state of mind.
Love that. Oh my goodness. We've been getting like such good advice from everybody. It's like kind of fun. I'm like, I know we're asking for like our our audience and other indie authors specifically to like take this advice, but also we're just like, this is such good advice for us. So, no, I love all of that so much.
Yeah. Seriously, thank you so much for like agreeing to come on and like talk about your book and just like have conversations with us. It's been so much fun. And honestly, I'm so sad that we don't have any more questions because I just want to keep talking.
I know this was genuinely such a blast. Also, y'all are my first podcast feature ever, so like this is a huge milestone. And so I'm really thankful to share it with you guys. You guys are awesome.
Oh my gosh, we are so honored. And yeah, so I know we talked about songs already, but obviously we're gonna end this episode with our song of the day. So Sam, what is your song of the day?
Okay, so I have no explanation, but my song of the day is OMG by Suki Waterhouse. And yeah, I just was listening to it earlier and I really enjoyed it. So, song of the day. What is yours, Sydney?
Ooh, okay, I'll try and make this short. So I have a thing called takeoff music, and it's like I have to be listening to like some kind of glorious cinematic song while the plane is taking off so that I feel comfortable and safe while flying. I have a fear of like dying in a plane crash. So like songs like Why Did It Have to Be Me by ABBA are takeoff songs. Freebird is a takeoff song. Ever Since Anyone But You came out, Unwritten is a takeoff song now. So highly recommend making a takeoff songs playlist. But as for song of today, Guy on a Horse by Macy Peters. I will recommend Maisie Peters until my lungs don't work anymore. I love Maisie Peters. Her deluxe, the Good Witch album, amazing. I saw her in concert. But Guy on a Horse is one of her deluxe tracks, and it is just so hilarious and blunt and really catchy. And I love the clashing harmonies. That is my song of the day.
I love that. I just love every single time someone says a Maisie Peters song just because of Sam saying that she hated Maisie Peters a couple years ago.
Oh my goodness. And it's so sad because I have to like relive that so much and I'm so obsessed with her now and I love her so much. But like just for some reason when I like first tried to listen to her, I like couldn't get with it. But then now I'm like, Sam, you are so stupid. You love this. And my song of the day today was almost Not Another Rock Star by Maze Peters.
So
But
good.
yeah.
So good. I actually have a contemporary whip um because of Kate's brother, truthfully. Like I love Maisie Peters. She's awesome.
Love.
Oh my gosh, that is also such a good song. So many. I love it. My song of the day is Life Jacket by Bad Sons. Oh my gosh. It's stuck in my head. Like when the waves come crashing, I could be your life jacket. It's just stuck in my head. I was like singing it at like my soccer game the other day. I was like, what the heck? Like, why am I doing this? And then like all day yesterday, all day today at Costco, I was like, oh my word. But I love it, so it's fine. Like I've just been in a big Bad Sons mood lately, so I'm fine with it.
Love.
Oh my
Oh
gosh,
my goodness.
this was literally obviously a highlight of my Saturday, like the whole week.
Yes, same. Oh my goodness. I'm actually so sad that there's only like a minute left, but
I know.
it's okay.
No, I know. We run out of time so fast.
Yeah, I never even I don't know how.
It
No,
happens. I'm
literally.
so good at yapping. It is what it is.
Us too.
Yeah,
Good company.
Mayors of Yapville.
No, literally, this has been so much fun. Like, dream come true.
Well, we're so excited for your release and to be able to post about it so much. We're so excited.
I'm excited for y'all to read it. I hope you like it.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm sure we will. These episodes are our virtual Valentines from us to you.
we hope you have a new book for your never-ending TBR, a new song to add to your playlist, and a new indie author to follow on Instagram.
And as always, we would love if you left us a rate and review on whatever stream platform you use. And if you want more from us, you can find us on Instagram at likewise_pod. This was so much fun, and I hope you both have a lovely rest of your day.
Thanks, Issa, and likewise to you all.
Lots of love.
And remember, look fab, feel fab.